Okay, so today we're going to find out, can you use a really old first generation basic Fire TV remote on the latest 4K Max? That's this Fire TV here that I bought in 2023. This is the 16 gigabyte Fire TV Max. Can you still use this old remote on one of those? This is good if you want to perhaps have a spare remote, if you've got a friend or a partner or a relative that also uses it and you're thinking, yeah, maybe perhaps we both need access to it, but perhaps don't need the voice function or the volume function. Or if you want a spare remote that you want to sort of take away with you if you're taking your Fire Stick away, a bit more of a compact remote. Well, this guide, we're going to find out, can you still use this remote in this day and age? All the details coming up shortly. Don't forget to like this video, share it and subscribe to my channel. Doing these three things help us make more great videos for you. So first of all, if you are going to use an old remote, then what I would suggest first of all is to make sure that you replace the batteries in it. The batteries that the remotes take are 2 AAA batteries, or if you want, check them with a multimeter, they should be 1.2 volts, but that doesn't always tell you whether they've got enough juicing, because the multimeter won't measure the ampage, just the voltage. So first things first, what we want to do is we want to reset our old first gen basic remote control. Now, I'm just going to run through the procedure with that. This procedure could vary from remote to remote, but on this one, to reset it, the old remote, so that it's disconnected from any other stick, is to press and hold the home button whilst pressing the menu button 3 times, and then release the home button and then press the menu button there 9 times. Then we need to remove the batteries from the remote. So let's take the back off and remove the batteries. And then it says to let that sit for 60 seconds. Okay, so let's just do that. I'm going to pause this video and we'll come back to it once the 60 seconds are up. So there we go, 60 seconds have gone by. So let's pop the batteries back into the remote. Make sure you're putting them in the right way. Let's close the cover back up. And now let's grab our remote for our current stick. Let's go into the home menu and let's go across to settings. And what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to go down and into another setting. So I'm just going to move the camera. We're going to need to go into remotes and Bluetooth devices. So let's go across to there. And we want to go into the section Amazon Fire TV remote, and then we want to go down to add new remote, and then it's searching. So it says press and hold the home button for 10 seconds, or if this comes up, then this is obviously already in pairing mode. So if this comes up, use old remote. So when they say old remote, it means use your current remote that you're using for your Fire Stick. So let's press that on the new remote, the OK button or the middle button. And there we go. It has actually paired. And I can test that just by pressing the up and down arrows. There you go. I've now got 2 remote controls selected on this, so I can control the Fire Stick with either one of the remotes. If I want to remove this old remote at any time, then what I need to do is I need to go down to it. It's known as Amazon Fire TV Remote 2. And what we need to do is we need to make sure that we press this button here to unpair, but it has to be on the remote that we want to leave attached to the system. If we try it on this one, it won't work. There you go. It comes up with a message. You cannot unpair a remote that's in use. So let's just press it on this one, on the new remote, and then it says press select to confirm unpairing. So that's the middle button. And there we go. The remote is unpaired. Now, if you're finding that the new remote that you're using doesn't work, then what we've got to do is we've just got to pop this back into pairing mode. So say if we didn't have this remote in use, then what we need to do is we need to press and hold the home button on it and press the 3 lines 3 times, and then release the home button, then press the menu button 9 times. Okay, remove the batteries from the remote. And then what we need to do is we need to power off the stick. So unplug the power from the Fire Stick, and you've got to leave this 60 seconds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this video and we'll come back to it in 60 seconds and then we'll see what happens. So this remote, I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to take this out the way. In actual fact, I'm going to take the batteries out of it so it can't detect it. So we're pairing this up as if this remote isn't working now. So we're pairing this one up as if this one is no longer working. We just need a temporary remote to sort of keep us going. Because I must admit, if ever you've tried to buy a Fire Stick remote at any time, you will realise that the cost of the Fire Stick remote is probably around about the same cost of a new Fire Stick, so it's just not really worth buying. But if you've got any old remotes knocking around, then they may well do the job, at least to sort of get you going. You know, for instance, you could use your mobile phone, the app, the Fire TV app on your mobile phone as a permanent remote. You could use your TV remote if it's compatible. Anyway, while I've been banging on there, the 60 seconds are now up. Okay, so put the batteries back in your remote and then plug in the Fire TV. So let's just do that. Let's just pop the batteries back in. You can find the instructions for each of the Fire Stick remotes on Amazon's website. I will put a link down below. So I've popped the batteries back in. Let's plug back in our Fire TV. So there we go. Plug it back in. What we're going to do is we're going to wait for the home screen to appear, and then it says once the home screen appears, press the home button on this remote for 40 seconds. So like I say, this applies to this kind of remote, this style of remote. I'm going to put, as I say, a link to the instructions on Amazon's website on how to reset other remote controls as well. There we go. So I'm going to hold down this button now for 40 seconds. There you go. So that's 40 seconds gone by. I did pause the video and now it says wait a further 60 seconds before trying to use it. Wait for the setup to complete. It is important that this remote is fairly near the Fire TV stick. So like I say, I'm just waiting now for the 60 seconds and we'll see if this has connected. Okay, so it did pop up there that it hasn't connected, but now it says remote connected. An Amazon Fire TV remote is connected to your Fire TV device, and that came up within 30 seconds. So let's just see. Yes, there we go. It is now connected, and we can now use it just as our other remote. With the exception, we don't have the shortcut buttons and we don't have the volume or power buttons, but generally we can get by with this remote. So there we go. That video showed you that you can pair an old remote to a brand new Fire Stick to use as a main or a secondary remote in the case of any issues with your main remote, or if you just want a second remote for someone else to control. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, consider hitting that thanks button and making a donation to this channel. Or have a look down below in the description if you're looking for a new Fire TV stick, Fire TV Cube or Fire Stick accessories, or even looking for a new VPN. Or you want to have a look at my Amazon store, then we've got loads of links down there for you. Donating, buying or subscribing really does help support this channel. It helps me to be able to dedicate more time into researching and bringing you these videos. And don't forget, whilst you're at my YouTube channel, why not stick around? I've got thousands of other videos for you right here, right now, covering all sorts of subjects. Hopefully whilst you're here, you're going to find something to educate you, entertain you, amuse you, and maybe even save you some time and money.